You should be able to get this on the wall. You should be able to get this to your stomach. That's 90 degrees. This is 45 degrees. A big mistake I see with an internal rotation test is people try to go flat. But look what happens to my humerus. That's that anterior glenohumeral glide that's nasty. That's a mechanism to really jack up your shoulder, stretching those ligaments. It's just not an optimal scenario. I don't want you to be here. So when you see people do a row, I don't like that. When we do this exercise with dumbbells, it's kind of a dumb exercise. Coming here and it's opening up, coming here, you're losing that position. And so those are the main tests that I do. Then what I'll do from there is I go into what I call an I don't call it this, it's called an MMT, manual muscle test. And a manual muscle test is to see if I can get a break, and a break meaning that, I'll show you in a second, it's not a good sign. Maybe I should eliminate that for now. So Daniel, come up here real quick. I'll have you, like maybe diagonal face this way. Good, so I can test internal rotation. So let's pretend like this is the arm that hurts. So I'll have them come to the side. And I want you just to come in, drive against me. Good, relax, come out. So I just tested external internal rotation there. I'm looking at his face the whole time. We didn't see anything. So if we want to check the supraspinatus, because that's an abductor. So right there I tested the subscap. Here I tested teres minor infraspinatus. The first 10 to 15 degrees is the supraspinatus. My goal isn't to hurt him. I just want him to give me a little bit of pressure. Can you drive against me? So he's pushing me away. That's a good sign. So I like that. So if it were to be bad, he would do it. So let's say press against me now. You see how I went out and I stopped and I moved away. That's all called like a break. That's not a good sign. It's like, something could be off. Rotator cuff could be fucked. I don't know, but get that checked out. The last one I'll do is what's called an empty beer can test. If a cop would ever pull you over, you had a beer in your hand, unfortunately you had to pull it over or pour it out like this. So now what I want you to do in the transverse plane, this is a scaption test. I want you to go into that scaption plane, which would be drive against me. Good. I'm not braking. It's just to give him to innovate, go against me, and good. I'm not doing it really hard, just enough to show some force. Think of it as the dynamometer or a gas pedal. He's going to 60 miles per hour. I'm letting him go there. If he can continue to press, good. I want there to be some sort of isometric staticness for maybe 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I'm looking at his face. How's it feel? Fine. Really good sign. Not too worried about that at all. You probably just supped on it wrong, something. Not, but if one of those fail, so this is like bad news. Shit. This is kind of recognizing what type of tissue we can get into. Foam rolling is great. Mobility drills are great. We'll go over some of those that you can do. One of my more advanced ones, and I work with dudes who are pressing a lot and they have shoulder pain, is to go over what's called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. One of my favorite words to say if you're trying to impress someone in a bar, get some free drinks, say it fast, you sound smart as shit. Proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Did you know what's going on? You just sound smart. PNF is what that's called. Proprioceptive, where the body is in space. Neuromuscular, the brain and the muscles talking. Facilitation. So what we're going to do is we're going to contract the muscle, relax it, and then go into that motion. I'm going to show you here in a second. Into the ground for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to relax. And then you're going to open up. And you're going to drive the stick up as high as you can. We're going to hold for 3 seconds. We're going to come back down. Driving the ground as hard as you can. 1, 2, 3. Great. Relax. Come back up. So what we're doing is we're creating a new range of motion. And now that we have that new range of motion, it's time to train in it. Because maybe that protective mechanism of something being tight, not maybe, it is, because the brain is smarter than all of us. When you get a fever, you go, brain, heat up the body. No, it does it on purpose. Evolution is an awesome thing. So the brain is constantly doing this checks and balances, and if something's tight, we gotta get away from, it's bad. Would you ever be driving on the freeway and your car light, the E-tank, the E symbol comes up, boom, flash, and fuck you! You get mad at it? No, it's awesome, right? Great, I know I need to get gas. If something's tight, I love it. Because now I get to play detective and say, why is it tight? Let's figure out why the brain made this area tight. And I bet you it's for a protective mechanism. And so maybe we need to identify a weak link. Maybe we need to go up the chain, so address the thoracic region, another joint. We got to look at how movement is. Maybe it's tight because you can't get to this range of motion, which would be smart. Because if you're vulnerable, that's how you hurt yourself. The quadruped position is going to be on your knees. And I'll say stuff like that after I know my client. I don't want to offend people, but usually hump is a pretty friendly word. I'll say hump the air, hump the ball, but if it's like you got a little priest or a nun, like maybe you should not use that vocabulary, but we're gonna, so the left arm is gonna cater the ball, hug onto it. Good, so I like this. Now let's hump the ball, so there we go, see that, close to your toe, good. The straight arm, with the straight arm, good. This is where he was before, hard into the ground. 1, 2, hard, 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 hard. 3, relax, drive it up. He's already going higher than what he did before. Relax, head neutral, come down, drive again. Keep this nice and straight, drive it into the ground hard. 3, 2, 1, relax, pull it up. And back down to the ground. And one last time. 1, 2, really hard. 3, relax, and bring it straight up. So what we're doing there a lot of times is we're creating more here. I don't necessarily need to be here. Some exercise that I find that typically irritate people, barbell incline, because of what it does to the AC joint. The AC joint acromioclavicular. So if you just look at the barbell here, when I do a bench press, look at where my shoulder's at, which is fine. This is about 50 to 60 degrees of extension, that's good. But now when I do incline, I'm here. So now the bar comes here. So I'm significantly further back. So that's why a dumbbell is so much better, because with a dumbbell, I can get here more. So I usually will eliminate overhead pressing, military press. I'll eliminate incline press. I want to see what a push-up looks like. And a connection with the upper traps, they love to fire quicker. It's like think of a gutter and water coming through the gutter. If there's a hole, it's going to go right to that first hole. The brain loves to recruit the upper traps first. So we need to reprogram that. So when you're straight out, I'm going to come behind my client and say, don't drive through your traps. You see how you depress right there? Come apart, squeeze, 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 and I'm going to use my fingers to work with retraction. And then when she goes here, I'm going to say, get your scaps off the back. Get your scaps off the back. Off, 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 off. So this way. So that way, that way, that way. There you go, good. So then they came off. So even if my client is doing good, I will still just let them know I'm watching by saying, do another rep. Good, nice job. You're not going through your traps. And I'll just give that little tactile to let them know that I'm there. So I want to drive through here. And then when we come off, I want the scaps to get off the back. Very good.